my message is really believe in procurement being the rising star in any organization. So that's the future spot where any talent should go to, because this is really where you orchestrate a value chain across multiple different players, and that's exciting for us. I'm Heiko Rumpl, I'm the Chief Product Officer of Onventis. Joined the company 10 years ago and responsible for all things product.
What recent changes or developments have had the biggest impact on your customers' procurement operations?
I want to split my answer actually into two parts. So the first part is what did we do to help our customers with their operational procurement activities? And I think one thing that stood out in the last couple of years was our automated cost allocation for purchase orders, where we helped our customers with a rule set basically to allow them to fully automate the cost allocation to purchase order lines. And on top of that, more recently, we also developed a solution for what we call AI-powered cost allocation for non-purchase order related invoices. So fully streamlining cost allocation on purchase order lines and non-purchase order related invoice lines not only reduces manual labor cost for our clients, but also it enables them to have higher quality and accuracy of cost allocations, which in return helps companies to better understand their spend distribution. And secondly, to that question is what did we do to help our customers in their strategic procurement activities? And this is primarily where we've seen a high need for a very effective supplier qualification process, where we developed again a solution more recently to help not only to automate supplier qualification when it comes to a large number of potential suppliers that you want to take a look at, but also it helps with a rule book in order to further automate the assessment of all of the collected supplier information to finally decide whether a supplier is considered qualified or not for making business with you. Things that come along with the supplier qualification that help with that tremendously, as well as our new questionnaire solution, which is highly flexible in the way you can design questionnaires, our template management for questionnaires, and last but not least, also the capability we added to our questionnaires to assign scores and weightings to your questions and to sections.
To what extent does AI play a role in your products nowadays?
I think AI is everywhere, right? So there are a lot of discussions, of course, and it's a technology that evolved dramatically, especially in the last 12 months when it comes to generative AI. And of course, we are already using AI. For example, we are using it in our spend analytics solution to help our customers to automatically categorize their uncategorized spend and to categorize their suppliers using information that they provide and using information that is publicly available from those suppliers. A second solution where we have already applied AI is what I already mentioned with AI-powered cost allocation for invoices and invoice lines, where based on historic coding patterns or cost allocation patterns of our customers, which we use to train the AI suggests new cost allocation for new invoices, which allows more automation in your invoice management processes. And of course, AI is a groundbreaking technology, especially not only when it comes to reducing manual labor or even automating processes. It is also especially very interesting in using AI that will replace our traditional way of search. Because in the past, you executed a search, but you still had to read through all of the search results. And nowadays, AI simply gets you the information you are looking at. However, clean data is also key. And contextual information made available to AI is key. And that's what we are currently working on very hard in order to bring AI to all of our solutions across the board, beyond spend analytics and beyond invoice processing. So I'm really curious to see what customers will say when we launch more AI solutions throughout this year.
Are there emerging technologies that you are excited about integrating into procurement?
Well, I'm specifically excited about that technology simply because of its potential to save time, but also its potential to really do work for humans instead. And it's a 24/7 technology, right? So that means that organizations can definitely achieve more when applying that technology. And that's what we also want to make our customers being able to make use of.
How do you ensure your procurement solution integrates effectively with other systems?
That's a great question. And actually, with my background also in professional services and consulting, implementing solutions into customers, organizations, we know very deeply in Onventis that we are coexisting with other organizational and departmental systems. So that means it's by heart that we design our solutions from the ground up to come up with generic and even very specific and plug-and-play integration solutions to the most common systems. So, for example, our largest number of clients are also running on SAP. That's where we offer a plug-and-play integration package solution that customers can simply import into their SAP environment. And the interfaces are there and are working. So they don't have to worry about spending time, finding time in their IT departments to develop these interfaces to make them work. And our solutions are also designed to not only technically integrate with other applications to make data flow seamlessly across these organizations, but they are also designed so that they integrate nicely into the overall process to ensure that there is no friction in any process execution that crosses multiple systems.
Which features of your solution have proven most effective?
I think this really goes back to our roots as Onventis, where we were committed to helping our customers save tremendous amounts of time in specifically indirect procurement, but procurement operations overall. And the way we achieved this was in democratizing and decentralizing operational procurement activities out from the procurement department and to where they belong, which is the users in an organization. We developed self-service procurement capabilities that primarily consist of very powerful catalog management, which also comes with supplier self-services, so that suppliers can upload the catalog data that's commercially and contractually agreed with the buying organization. And of course, also comes with seamlessly connecting to supplier web shops and to marketplaces. But it also comes, of course, with all the capabilities of catalog buying and searching for the products and the services that an organization's users need to purchase in order to continue with their job, which is what they are getting paid for. So we've developed a very streamlined process for this, including what I already mentioned, the cost allocation to make sure company understands its spend patterns and spend distribution. And it also comes with a very streamlined approval workflow, because spend control is definitely at the core of our solution. So it shouldn't be spent unwisely. So therefore we make sure that we come up with large flexibility of how an approval workflow of an organization can be configured according to different values and according to different spend categories, maybe even according to different locations and different suppliers.
Which KPIs or dashboards do your customers rely on the most?
I think when it comes to KPIs, I think no one would argue that procurement KPIs are somewhat obvious, right? So what you want to look at is spend broken down by supplier, by your spend categories, by your cost centers and cost categories, maybe also broken down by regions. And of course, you also want to gain an understanding of where you are with your spending against your budget. But while these are the obvious KPIs, we of course do also see two more things that I want to elaborate on. One thing is, of course, that organizations are individual. No one is like another. So that means that organizations need to be able to not only specify, but also to set up organization individual KPIs within their systems. And that's why we recently developed that capability on top of our existing obvious KPI and spend insights capabilities in our spend analytics solution to allow KPI formulas so that organizations can set up the KPIs that matter most to them on top of the obvious KPIs. And the second one we also did is that when you look at KPIs, it's no longer the traditional commercial KPIs. It's also all about an organization's contribution to sustainability and to saving and securing our environment, for later generations. And in order to make sure that this contribution is made visible, we've also developed our spend analytics EcoSpend solution most recently, which allows our clients to measure and track their carbon emissions across all of their procurement and supplier relationship activities.
How do you gather insights into what your customers need?
Yeah, of course, we are in constant exchange with our clients. We are visiting trade fairs. We are having user group events where we exchange with our clients. Of course, all of our consultants, our customer success team is in constant exchange with our clients to make sure that we deeply understand, what our customers are looking for. And I think when it comes to, how we ensure that our product really meets the requirements of our customers, this is where we are also even involving some of our clients into early prototypes, into new user experience designs, because I think this is something that organizations are also looking beyond the features of an application. Because if a user adoption rate is low due to not optimal user experience, then it hurts an organization because the application can only unfold its value if users really adopt it. And that's, again, for example, why we strongly believe AI will also help with adopting users using organizations' information to generate value.
How many of your customers use those prototypes?
Well, it depends, of course. Organizations who are really specifically seeing a need in a certain new solution, they have a high interest. They may also be very qualified, of course, to contribute their ideas and their opinions to new solutions. So this is basically through talking with our clients, we will identify where there is interest in contributing and being actively involved in the development of new solutions.
Are there product capabilities that have become more important due to recent global changes?
I think when it comes to the most recent developments, we are living in a world of many uncertainties. Whether it's broken supply chains, it's the geopolitical risks and uncertainties. What we see is our customers are therefore really looking more into how can we better qualify our suppliers so that we can make sure that we can rely on new supplier relationships. How can we make sure that what we've agreed to can be measured in terms of its compliance. So this is why, for example, our supplier qualification solution is really popular, but also where customers are looking for new sourcing solutions and specifically also looking for new contract solutions. This is why we are currently developing a new sourcing engine and a new contract lifecycle management solution, which helps organizations not only start from managing signed contracts, but also where we are aiming to help these organizations reduce cycle times for drafting and authoring and negotiating contracts until its signature. And then, of course, post signing these contracts, we help with making sure that there is a proper performance and risk management on these contracts available in our solution.
But how involved are you in that process, really?
Yeah, well, I'm a product guy by heart, and of course, I'm also a procurement guy by heart. So I'm always and constantly striving for ideas and solutions that help our clients make procurement a rising star in the organization. I'm truly believing in procurement becoming more and more of a centerpiece of every organization. And this is especially because organizations are outsourcing more and more of a value generation to their suppliers. So that's why supplier qualification, working with the right suppliers, making sure you performance measure your existing supplier base, also making sure that you have proper measurements and development practices to improve your supplier's performance, because that makes up your overall company's performance. I truly believe this is making a difference. And that's why we are working so hard, and that's why I am working so hard and passionate in making sure that our solutions matter.
From your experience, what makes a procurement solution more appealing?
What makes a procurement application more appealing, in my opinion, is that it also depends on the type of the organization. I mean, we are focusing and we are really committed to helping mid-size organizations, in excelling in their procurement disciplines. And there we believe that these organizations, they are really looking at suite solutions, all-in-one solutions, where they don't have to worry about integrating best-of-breed applications, spending a lot of time in doing this. And that's, of course, why we are committed to providing such an all-in-one solution. On top of that, what I already mentioned, it's still important that even if it's an all-in-one from a procurement perspective, there might still be finance solutions, there might be an ERP solution, there might be project management and ticketing system solutions. And ideally, a solution like ours should be able to flexibly integrate into both, making the data flow and into making the process work. And finally, but maybe even still ultimately, it's the user experience that counts. And that's again where a suite solution can provide a seamless and a unified user experience that helps with user adoption rates. It's more difficult for best-of-breed applications to achieve that. Your second topic was on the supplier side as well. So what's important for suppliers? And I think, in my experience, having worked for many years actually also on the supplier side, as a supplier, you want to serve your customers using a certain procurement solution with a single account where you can see all your customer relationships and everything that's going on across these customer relationships. From purchase orders that you received through maybe requests for quotations, through requests for supplier qualification, you want to make sure that you have a central cockpit and accessing that through a supplier portal kind of access, which Onventis offers as well to its suppliers. You have everything inside one cockpit where you can ideally also manage your users, assign users to your customers, so that you make sure that the right salespeople, for example, serve the right clients, and that you can also make sure that data privacy and security is respected.
Thank you very much for your time and insights today.
Thank you, Sebastian.